Dímelo, mi gente. What up? It's your boy Gus back with another Q&A Fridays. Today we got the answers on some real popular questions about if you should wear cologne with jewelry, should you be wearing it into the ocean, and maybe some struggles about making it in the jewelry world. All coming up next. Creep, roll that intro music. GusVillaJewelry. Question number one, numero uno, comes from C.D.A. 777. He wants to know, is there an option with GusVillaJewelry of melting a Cuban for a new Cuban with higher carat in gold? Yes, there is. However, it's not how a lot of people think that it goes down. A lot of people think that if you grab 100 grams, 14 karat, and all you need to do is to upgrade it. Oh, I want a thicker chain. I want it to be 150 grams. It's as easy as just throwing another 50 grams in there and then you're good to go. It doesn't work that way. If you're a first-hand manufacturer, you don't resell other people's work. So what do I do with that chain? I melt it down and then I add the gold. But what happens during the meltdown process? Two very important things. Number one, you're gonna lose carat because gold evaporates faster than the alloy in that mix. So as I'm melting it down in that crucible, that gold is evaporating much faster. And number two, I'm gonna lose weight. So if I melt down a 100-gram chain, I'm not gonna just end up with 100 grams of, say for instance, 14 karat exactly. I'm gonna end up with about 94, 95 grams of 13.5, 13.7 karat. You lose material during the meltdown process. We buy that gold chain at 90%, which is called meltdown value. So yes, it's possible, but you will lose labor and you will lose a little bit of gold. And because of that, it may be easier for you to resell that chain on your own, recuperate that money, and maybe even get retail value out of that chain. And then with that money, come back and upgrade your chain. I give you both options. Some people don't want to go down route because they don't want to sit there and sell in the back of their alleyway a shady chain. They don't want to go through that process, so they just send it in. But other folk that do want to fully maximize the amount of money you can get out of your chain, sell it yourself, and then come back to me. I just want to give you those options because I like transparency in anything that I do. Excellent question. Question number two comes from Medjai PSMC. He wants to know, should I spray cologne on before I put my silver Cuban, or does it matter? Is there a reaction? To be honest with you, I have no clue. But my boy Angel, aka Cuba, knows. He actually knows, so he's gonna be able to answer this question much better than I am. Angel, take it away.
Write me an invoice for GusVillaJewelry, $5,000. So to answer your question regarding fragrance and silver jewelry, think of it in this way. Silver tarnishes with air. So think about the chemicals or the aromas or the oils or the essential oils that are in these fragrances that can potentially do the, yes, it's going to tarnish at some point and can enhance the tarnishment. Is it going to ruin it? No. There's a lot of people who've been wearing fragrances for years along with their silver jewelry, and it's fine. But if this is something that you wear on a consistent basis, and I think I know one or two things about fragrance, I would say rinse it, dry it out, make sure it's all copacetic. With all jewelry, you should just clean it because your skin alone has crazy acidity, pH level, sweat, salt. It's gonna add a different level of tarnishing, and that's just an added chemical on top of it. I wouldn't spray it directly on the jewelry. You can spray the pulse points of the body, back of the ears, wrists, crease of the elbow, things of that nature to help enhance that scent profile that you don't have to directly spray it on the jewelry, or just, you know, tuck your jewelry in, spray your clothing, and then leave it out just to help reduce the tarnishing that will happen with jewelry, but it's not going to ruin it or eat away at it. Because if the fragrance is strong enough to eat away at silver, think what it's doing to your pores. I hope that helped answer the question, and if it didn't, well, subscribe to my channel and learn more about fragrances. Smooches.
Question number three comes from VQ_Nico. He wants to know, best chain to match a 10 bracelet. Let me give you the rule of thumb, and this is the rule of thumb only by me. It's not official. There's no book. There's no sort of literature out there that says this is the law. I like to wear 2 millimeters smaller on the chain than I do on the bracelet. There are some people that say it should be 4 millimeters. It really is going to depend on what you like. But say for instance, you have a 10 millimeter bracelet, your chain would look really nice in an 8 millimeter, maybe even a 7 millimeter. There are some people that say it's 6 millimeter, who the hell knows? But I like to keep it under 2 millimeters. So if you're gonna go with a 14, go with a 12. If you're gonna go with a 10, go with an 8, and there's no right or wrong answer. Don't let somebody tell you, oh, this is what it has to be, because it doesn't have to be anything. Do whatever the hell you want. Question number 4 comes from Name 500s. He wants to know, what are your thoughts about wearing jewelry in the water, ocean, freshwater, etc.? I love the content. Keep it up. Thank you, number 1, for loving the content, which is a perfect segue into, before I answer this question, subscribe to the channel. Hit that subscribe button, hit the notification, so the next time Q&A Friday comes out, you're the first one to find out. Back to the question, you can wear it. It doesn't really matter. It depends on the type of metal that you wear. If you are wearing brass, if you are wearing stainless steel, if you're wearing copper, and you're cheap plating your jewelry, do not take it into the water. It's not that you're gonna go in there and all of a sudden the gold's gonna start falling off. That's not how it works. But the salt water is gonna remain on that chain, and those are corrosion type metals. They will not take the pressures of ocean water. Silver and gold do. So if you have silver, you're perfectly fine wearing it in the ocean, in the pool, and the same thing goes with 14 karat. There's this rumor out there that I hear all the time. You can't go in there with gold chains into chlorine or into ocean. That's absolute horse. You can do that. Now, can you do it long term if you're out there, you know, blue crab fishing in Alaska for 6 months? I mean, no, just be weary of it. Wipe it down with some fresh water. But every time you take a shower, you're essentially cleaning most of your chain. So you're perfectly fine doing so. If you have a silver or gold over silver or solid gold, you can go into chlorine, aka pool water, and you can go perfectly fine into the ocean. You're fine. Just rinse it with some fresh water afterwards if you're really, really nitpicky about it, but you're gonna be okay. It's not gonna fall apart. It's not gonna disintegrate on your neck like people say online. Get real, bro. Get your answers from actual jewelers. Stop taking your advice from these keyboard jewelers. They don't know what the hell they're talking about. Question number 5, and the final question comes from Sheesh. 0. That's the stupidest. How long has it taken you to get to this point? Early struggles / roadblocks. If you gave me maybe 3 hours of time, I would be able to tell you all the things that I've gone with. A lot of people see the polished version of GusVillaJewelry. You see the chains that are coming out. You see everything that's in production. But all that took a very, very long time to get to. There's a lot of struggles. There was a lot of ups and downs, mostly downs, to be honest with you. I compare it mostly to the bamboo. Bamboo takes 20 years to grow, and it takes the first like 19 years or something like that. Don't quote me on what it is, but essentially the bamboo creates roots on the bottom of the ground and nothing comes out. Literally, you can't see it. So it's just building all these roots, and it's what I did for years and years. Build relationships, build connections, and then eventually when I did my own thing, the bamboo tree, when it's ready to grow, grows in 3 weeks, and it grows like 30 feet. But it takes 20 years for it to grow those roots before it even sprouts. It's the same thing when you own a business. So it was about 3 years of me just building connections, and then I started my own thing, and in 2 years, it sprouted to what you see right now. So if you're starting any business, whether it be jewelry or whatever you want to do, basket weaving, understand that it's going to be a lot of grunt work. You're gonna have to struggle when the lights are off, when nobody's looking at you, when it's the weekend and you're the only one doing what you're doing, and when nobody else gives a shit, and when nobody else believes in you. Just do it. Do it, because eventually that bamboo is gonna sprout, and you're gonna be able to reap the benefits of all the hard work that you just dedicated the last couple of years in doing. That's the best advice I can give you. That about does it for another Q&A Fridays. I have some really interesting news for you guys. There's gonna be a lot of diversification. Right now, I focus on Cuban link chains, and it's gonna be the bread and butter of GusVillaJewelry for many, many years to come. But for a lot of people that don't know, I do a lot of business locally here, and I do offer other products like custom pendants, custom rings, Rolexes, APs, the whole 9 yards. But I'm going to begin to introduce that into the website. Right now, we've developed a lot of really good connections with vendors that are going to be supplying me with high-end machine-made different types of patterns and links. So Franco chains, tennis chains, everything is going to be in gold and silver, and there's going to be differences in the types of stones that you're going to be able to add, fully customizable, and this is all going to be available on the website. So the business is growing. I'd love for you guys to grow with me. Remember that at the end of the day, whatever product I put my name behind, it's still going to have the top quality. The same type of fame that I have with Cuban link chains is the same type of fame that I want to have with other products as well. I will only provide you with the absolute best. So if you're in the market for a luxury timepiece, any sort of other pieces that you don't see online, the telephone number is right at the top at GusVillaJewelry.com. Call us. You can ask to speak to me directly. I can help you out with anything that you need, sourcing watches, sourcing different types of chains. Let's chat. See you guys next Friday. Holla at me.